Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Trevor.
First of all, thank you for helping us make that Trump history.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Right. Here's something I've always wanted, because with Trump it happens naturally, but you have the show, and I remember the first time I watched it, it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. You got people who are drunk and they're telling a history story, but all those stories are factually correct.
Right, 100% true.
So you have fact checkers who come in to make sure that the drunk people are doing it right.
Right. It's kind of like the reverse of how you're taught in comedy is like, you know, don't look down on the audience, make them look smart.
Right.
Like, I want the audience to think they're smarter than the narrator and then be like, oh my God, they just taught me something. That drunk person has intelligence.
But here's something I didn't know about the show. Like, I always thought you just literally got a person drunk,
right,
and then you asked them to tell the story, and then they did it. But it takes you, like, what, 6 hours to shoot one story?
Yeah, 6 to 8 hours, yeah.
But why does it take so long?
Well, you know, whenever any human being has alcohol, they, it's much like taming a lion, you know, it takes a lot of time, but the first hour is, I'm gonna be as funny as I can in front of a camera and in front of a crew, and that's when I realize it's a job, when I just have to sit there and have someone trying to be funny for an hour.
Oh.
That's what any human being would do with alcohol and a camera. So that takes a while, and then they get drunk a little longer, and then I'm trying to make it a little funnier. But the funniest thing about the whole thing is I always get an email the next day going, I'm so sorry I didn't tell the story. They just never, ever remember telling the story. So I start every night going, I promise you tonight, you will never believe me that we told the story. But I promise I will not leave until we have the story. To try to create that trust,
right.
It never works. It starts Drunk History, and then it becomes a Cops episode.
I love that you just basically, you get someone drunk, and then you wait for them to move away from, like, the happy drunk to that point where, like, we've all been or our friends have been, where it's just like a very depressed drunk person.
It's that point of, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm telling you how I feel.
Yes.
This issue that happened 300 years ago means something to me, and it happened to me, man. And I'm like, oh, then you're you, then you're you.
So help me with the science of this. How do you teach them the history beforehand?
They know the history beforehand, yeah.
Right.
They have like a week to study it.
And then they just have to keep telling the story over and over and over again.
God did a good job on me of, like, making me look and sound like I'm really drunk, so it's very believable.
The first time I met him, I thought part of your contract was that you just had to be drunk because of, like, drunk history. I was like, this makes sense. And it's like, no, you do have, like, a drunk vibe.
Yes, I have a very drunk. It's an honest assessment. It was also at the Justin Bieber roast, so let's be honest.
Yeah, this season, though, is truly one of the most star-studded casts that you have. You've got everyone you've got Will Ferrell, you've got Elijah Wood, you've got Seth Rogen, you've got Vanessa Hudgens, Rachel Wood from Westworld. In the past, you've had Tiffany Haddish, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Jim Carrey. How do you get these people to agree to come and be drunk?
Kickstarter.com. I started it a couple years ago, and yeah, I'm still alive somehow. No, I got lucky, man. I got really lucky. I humbly think it's a unique idea, but I also think people want to, like, tell history. I also think people like to feel smart. Whether they are or they aren't, they like to watch a show and then be like, hey, did you know that? Did you know that? I did. But I love that because, I don't know, history sometimes isn't taught in the most exciting way, and this is a way that I humbly think that you can stay focused and want to hear every word they're going to say.
I feel like this should be implemented in schools.
Yeah,
I feel like history, I would have listened more if history class was just like celebrities getting drunk. If they just brought drunk celebrities to my school, I would have passed history with, like, flying marks every time. Let me ask you this, though. Yeah. How do you know when Will Ferrell is drunk?
Oh. I wish. He's just reenacting. He's not getting drunk.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, you can't, like...
No. I legally would never be able to do that.
Yeah, there's just, like, some people where you just go, like, how do you do it? Before I let you go, the one thing I've always wanted to know is you have alcohol, you have comedians getting drunk. Surely somebody has done something so crazy, like, you didn't put it on TV, but you were like, this thing happened. Like, did someone attack you? Did someone throw up on you?
All of those. Yeah, we have a medic and security on set. It's a poison. You shouldn't drink alcohol. I am not, my show doesn't endorse alcohol. It endorses history and comedy.
Indulgent history, but not alcohol.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I'm excited for it. Season 6 of Drunk History will premiere on Comedy Central January 15th at 10 p.m. Derek Waters, everybody.